was formed. And these words are so well known in this field that they're always worth repeating. It was Justice Marshall, Chief Justice Marshall of Worcester v. Georgia, that described tribes as Indian nations. They've always been considered as distinct, independent political communities retaining their original natural rights as the undisputed possessors of the soil from time immemorial. They were here, the tribes were here, they're nations, they're political, they're distinct, and they retain these original natural rights, as Chief Justice Marshall described at the time. So what were these original natural rights? What were these powers that tribes possessed from day one? Well, I would submit to you that they were all the powers of a government. Now, the tribes weren't necessarily speaking in those terms, but as a legal matter, every tribe had the power to prosecute crimes, as Anglos call it, criminal jurisdiction, right? And that meant even the crimes committed by a white person stepping onto the territory of a tribe. Crimes between members, crimes between outsiders that came into Indian country. That was the host of criminal jurisdiction that we think of possessed by the United States of America, for instance, was possessed by Yakima, was possessed by Gila River, was possessed by Narragansett, Penobscot, Passamaquoddy. Every tribe had that sovereignty intact. And also civil jurisdiction, what in Anglo law is called civil jurisdiction. It's the other part of it's the counterpart to criminal. Those things like overseeing marriages, how does domestic law work, relations between husband and wife, inheritance, citizenship, property rights, insofar as were concepts of property rights. All of these things were governed under tribal law, and including civil jurisdiction by outsiders, particularly those who came into Indian country to exploit resources. White person steps into the boundaries of the tribe. Guess what? The tribe has the right to exclude that person, and while that person is present, engaged in any economic activity, the tribes have the power to regulate that conduct. So what about the second part? So that's the starting part, right? That's the bundle of powers that tribes possessed from day one. And they were everything. It was everything. It was all there. It was all intact. They were retained, as Chief Justice Marshall said.